how's it going, guys? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to some more Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. Today we are diving in and taking a look at the up and coming update for Lemmy's Europe map, which goes ahead and expands the map off into the east, adding in basically like an Egyptian faction. This is the Ayyubid Sultanate, I believe is what they're calling it in this update, which goes ahead and spans a large portion of the east, which is really exciting. You can basically see where it goes up to, kind of edging into Turkey, which is very, very nice and a very cool addition to the actual campaign map itself. If you guys have never seen this mod before, the current version is currently available on the Steam Workshop, which of course I'll link down below in the description, and then this update will hopefully be coming fairly soon, so kind of prepare yourself for a brand new campaign on this for sure. But as I said, if you have not seen this map before, it basically takes the northern parts of Africa into Italy, Spain, France. We've got the United Kingdom, we've got the parts of Scandinavia, and we kind of edge off more into the east, into kind of like Poland, and of course more stuff is planned as the mod gets more and more developed. As you can see in this update, it's all about the Ayyubid Sultanate, and you can also start to see the kind of placings for the settlements, which will kind of take up Turkey, Greece, etc., which are kind of, you know, in the process of being planned. I believe the majority of Turkey has also actually been sculpted out as well. There's probably some more details being added, and obviously the Nev Mesh as well. But yes, in this update, the Ayyubid Sultanate is here, and they do have their very own custom unit tree as well, which we'll take a look at in a second. But of course, I want to show off basically how this kind of faction is set out. So of course, we start off in the west right here. We have a few castles kind of manning this mountainous line between them and the Azarai. So again, these castles are going to be extremely key, and I really love the way that they are positioned as well. If you kind of get your way up here, you can see that there's only kind of, you know, a few passes into here, so you can really, if you want to, sit here with a massive army and take on the oncoming hordes from the Azarai if they do come your way. And again, lots of nice little detail added in. There's like a little minecart right here moving from one side to another, which is very cool. And again, resource wise, I imagine we'll be getting a lot of like, yeah, nomadic horses. We've got a lot of kind of like I guess ground resources, and then of course along the Nile there's a lot of kind of Nile based agriculture, I guess is what we'll be seeing right there. But yeah, these castles are set up basically to defend the line. There's another castle down here as well, and then as we make our way over, again more castles. So basically a large portion of castles. We've got coastal cities as well. No, this does have a port, yeah, of course. So yeah, a lot of coastal cities as well, which is going to be making up a very rich empire. The ability for their merchants to get from here to wherever they're going is going to be super important, because again, if you didn't know, this mod does also add in naval travel. It's really easy to use. You go to basically any port in the settlement, and you can go ahead and talk to the harbor master, buy certain ships. You can talk to the shipwright. Again, these are all super cheap because I'm obviously on a early access view, but again, you can also travel from one side of the map to another as well by using a ferry system. Is a really cool setup, and definitely a nice addition to this mod. So then obviously we make our way up here, and you can see lots more detail added in. Very rocky. There's lots of mountainous passes that you're going to have to be navigating if you are sending troops out here. Some very cool settlements. Again, yeah, as you can see, lots of like kind of one-way paths in, leading off to other castles. It's gonna be really fun to assault, and then that's basically it for the faction of the Ayyubid Sultanate. Kind of a very strong position. They're of course out in the middle, off on the side of the map, but when more factions do get added more into the north, I'm assuming they're going to be coming, you know, a bit under fire, of course, and I assume there'll probably be some Crusader stuff where you'll be fighting if you're playing out the Ayyubid Sultanate away from the Crusaders, and of course the Crusaders launching naval invasions, because again, yeah, you can obviously just, you know, launch from Venice and kind of sail over with a big crusading army, and vice versa. If you're looking to maybe march onto Constantinople and take that, you can definitely do that as well, which is cool. So as I did say, these guys do have their very own unit roster as well. They wanted to, of course, not only just make the map tools and the factions, but also they wanted to go ahead and create some extra units for the mod, which is really cool to see. I believe they are just using vanilla unit armors right now to create these. It would be cool if they maybe did dive in and actually added in maybe like a mod like open source armory to go ahead and create some more factions. But honestly, with what they've got with the vanilla assets, they've actually done a really good job. So again, kind of very Azerai-esque on these lower tiers, but when they get to kind of the tier 3s and tier 4s, they definitely do start to differentiate quite nicely. I really like the look of the tier 4s and the tier 5s. I think they look, yeah, awesome. The scale armor with the shoulder pads as well look really, really good. Again, you can see some of the noble guard, the Cataphract cavalry, and then of course finally the archers right here. And I believe they also do have some noble units as well. If we go over to a castle, yes, they do. They have a Ayubid horse archer noble troop line, which does again look very, very nice with that kind of golden scale armor and a few different sets to them as well, which is always nice to see as people do go ahead and expand that out. Of course, as well, they also do have all the new lords. If we go and take a look at them, you can see they have an entire new set of clans, as well as the leader himself, looking very, very, very admirable in that armor set. So yeah, this was just kind of a quick look, I guess, at the Ayubids, and as you can see as well, the faction they are working on next is going to be, I'm not sure what culture it's going to be, if it's going to be like the Sultans of Rum, if that's kind of what they're going for, or if they're going to split it up into kind of several factions. I'm not too sure at this point, but you can see obviously these are big circles are going to be the cities, and the red ones are going to be the castles. So again, a large amount of castle kind of defensive lines buffering between them and the Ayubids, and then a lot of their cities have got Constantinople, of course, and a bunch of other cities as well, a few coastal cities, which will be really nice for trade. But of course, they do have access to mainland Europe as well over here, so they can their merchants can quite easily move over, as long as they're not at war with the Kuzites, because the Kuzites will of course cause them issues, raiding caravans and stuff. And that's again, just like as the map gets bigger and bigger, it's going to make really interesting kind of wars and also just trading between nations. The naval trade game will be really interesting to see kind of what happens, because that's completely different compared to say like the Valandians who currently take up France. That's gonna be very interesting to see kind of how they have, you know, kind of how they trade compared to the Ayubids, who are kind of off onto the corner until maybe a few more do get added. One thing that is also really cool as well is that, you know, both Crete and also Cyprus over here will be having castles as well. I imagine these lands will probably get a bit more carved out as well, these islands. But yeah, they'll be kind of cool kind of stepping stones to launch invasions wherever you want to go ahead and stick them, which is very, very cool indeed. And then I imagine we'll probably be getting a faction up here into kind of Ukraine and Russia, and obviously the Baltics here as well in the next update after this one, but that's of course much further forward in the future. So that's going to be it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the little update showing off the new Ayubid Sultanate update to the Europe map, which is again getting bigger and bigger every single day. Lemmy has poured so many hours in this along with the other people who are helping him on it, and it's looking really good. The ship stuff is awesome, being able to travel around the map, and I think as the map gets bigger and bigger, it's going to be more and more important to go ahead and kind of utilize this. Being able to move from position to position is super, super cool. The actual addition of all the extra land mass now, the ability to actually expand out the map as well into the east is going to be awesome, and I think this is also going to be really useful for other modders who maybe don't have the tools to go ahead and create their own map tools or their own map. They can go ahead and utilize this, and even just people who want to change like units and stuff, this is a kind of a very easy base to do that. And Lemmy has said that this, you know, this map is more than welcome to be used by other modders as long as they obviously ask his permission and also give credit, which is again very, very awesome. It's always great to see modders helping one another out. Oh, I love the torch right there in the mountainside, looks awesome. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Drop a like and a comment down below. It really honestly does help out. I know everybody says it, but trust me, it goes a long, long way, and I'll see you guys in the next one.